Thank you. That was inspiring.
Yada, yada, yada. Et cetera, et cetera.
It's good to be here. I haven't been at Festival on the Green for a while. And last time we were here, we weren't on the green because it was raining.
Everybody ready? What for?
Why don't we wait till it stops ringing since we've waited this long? How many people have seen us before? Whoa, a lot. We should have learned new jokes. How many people have never seen us before? A few, anyway.
They would not hear your music and they pulled your paintings down. They would not read your writing and they banned you from the town. But they could not stop your dreaming and the victory you have won. For you sown the seeds of freedom in your daughters and your sons, in your daughters and your sons, your daughters and your sons. You sown the seeds of freedom in your daughters and your sons. Your weary smile, it proudly hides the chain marks on your hands when you bravely strive to realize the rights of everyone. And though your body's bent and low, a victory you have won. For you sown the seeds of justice in your daughters and your sons, in your daughters and your sons, your daughters and your sons. You sown the seeds of justice in your daughters and your sons. But I don't know religion, but one day I heard you pray for a world where everyone can work and children they can play. And though you never got your share of the fruits that you have won, you sown the seeds of equality in your daughters and your sons, and your daughters and your sons, your daughters and your sons. You sown the seeds of equality in your daughters and your sons. Well, they taunted you in Belfast, and they tortured you in Spain. And in that Warsaw ghetto, they tied you up in chains. In Vietnam and Chile, and they came with tanks and guns. It was there you sowed the seeds of peace in your daughters and your sons, in your daughters and your sons, your daughters and your sons. It was there you sowed the seeds of peace in your daughters and your sons. And now your music's playing and the writing's on the wall, and all the dreams you painted can be seen by one and all. And now you've got them thinking, and the future's just begun. For you sown the seeds of freedom in your daughters and your sons, in your daughters and your sons, your daughters and your sons. You sown the seeds of freedom in your daughters and your sons, in your daughters and your sons, your daughters and your sons. You sown the seeds of freedom in your daughters and your sons. Woo. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Great to be here at Festival on the Green. And so many familiar people. Does anybody out there have our live album? Because we'd like it back now. This is going to be fun today.
If it doesn't rain.
Michael's been feeling a little negative lately. We're going to get out these.
If it doesn't.
My zipper's stuck.
Don't say that on the microphone.
These are borons or barons. We're all from Vermont, and we call them borons. In Ireland, they call them barons, but they're basically saying borons in Irish. This is Vermont made. It's got goatskin on the front and duct tape on the back. They're very easy to play. We're going to play an ancient Scottish tune. I hope you like it.
Well, they're not that easy, because if they were that easy, I'd be playing one.
Practice.
Gin you marry me, lassie, at the Kirkle Brunny Boozle, till the day ye die, lassie, ye will ne'er repent it. Gin you marry me, lassie, at the Kirkle Brunny Boozle, till the day ye die, lassie, ye will ne'er repent it. You were wed when you were wed, a curtle and a heel and fled, high above a heather bed, so cootle and say candy. When you gan with me, lassie, dee the kirk, Cabernet Boozle, little brogues and all, lassie, oh, but you'll be canty. Can you marry me, lassie, at the kirk, Cabernet Boozle, till the day you dee, lassie, he will ne'er repent it. Though your tucker is but small, a hot and brave will wear for all. I'll save myself the mac you brought, and you will ne'er repent it. When you marry me, lassie, dee the kirk, Cabernet Boozle, little brogues and all, lassie, oh, but you'll be canty. Can you marry me, lassie, at the kirk, Cabernet Boozle, till the day you dee, lassie, you will ne'er repent it. I'll hunt the otter and the brook, the hart, the hare, the heather cock, and you alone will spay the rock and make your dishes dainty. When you marry me, lassie, dee the kirk, Cabernet Boozle, little brogues and all, lassie, oh, but you'll be canty. Can you marry me, lassie, at the kirk, Cabernet Boozle, till the day you dee, lassie, ye will ne'er repent it. Can you marry me, lassie, at the kirk, Cabernet Boozle, till the day you dee, lassie, ye will ne'er repent it. Can you marry me, lassie, ye will ne'er repent it.
Thank you. We would like to introduce to all of you the newest member of the Woods Tea Company, Mr. Chip Chase, right here.
Oh, thank you. When I was a mere slip of a lad, I had an uncle who worked for the Delaware and Hudson Railroad. And he worked for the railroad in that transition period when they were switching over from steam to diesel. Started out as a fireman. Discovered early, I guess a little before most of the guys, that it was really hard to shovel diesel fuel. So he actually got himself in line and promoted to be an engineer. So he got to stay with, actually, some states had what was called a full crew law, where they required the railroads to keep the firemen on even though they couldn't shovel diesel fuel. Went to work for the railroad in 1910 and 3. My father was an engineer, my two brothers and me, we worked in the yard. Back in the load, loading the cars for the railroad. I signed on to shovel coal in 1910 and 4. Climbing on an 8-wheel driver bound for Baltimore, feeding the flame in the fiery hole. The trains for the railroad. Steel rails for miles ahead and many more miles behind. I signed up to see the country, all that I could find, rails of steel and piles of coal. Jack wheels for the railroad. night in a rundown bar, Tuesday on down the line. Wednesday morning, shoveling coal, just to pass the time, and the news comes through. She's an iron mule. She's big and fast and powerful. She runs on diesel fuel. Went to work for the railroad in 1910. 30 years of fireman, and now they've set me free.
Chip Chase.
We had a lot of requests as we were setting up here today. Most of the requests were things that are in bad taste.
They must know us pretty well.
So we know where the audience is at.
And they know us.
What's the
C.
What's that?
What's the chord? Well, a Scotsman dressed all in his kilt left the bar one evening fair. You could tell by the way he walked that he'd had more than his share. He stumbled off until he could no longer keep his feet. Then he staggered off into the grass to sleep beside the street. Ring ding diddle diddle I-D-O, ring ding diddle I-O. He staggered off into the grass to sleep beside the street. Well, about this time, two young and lovely girls came passing by. Said one unto the other with a twinkle in her eye, "See yon sleeping Scotsman, so strong and handsome built. I wonder if it's true that he wears nothing neath his kilt." Ring ding diddle diddle I-D-O, ring ding diddle I-O. I wonder if it's true that he wears nothing neath his kilt. So they crept up on that sleeping Scotsman, quiet as can be, and lifted up his kilt about an inch so they could see. Lo and behold, for them to view beneath his Scottish skirt was nothing more than God had blessed him with upon his birth. Ring ding diddle diddle I-D-O, ring ding diddle I-O. Was nothing more than God had blessed him with upon his birth. Well, they marveled for a moment, then they said, "We must be gone. Let's leave for him a souvenir before we travel on." As a gift they left a blue silk ribbon tied up in a bow. Around the bonny star the Scotsman's kilt did lift and show. Ring ding diddle diddle I-D-O, ring ding diddle I-O. Around the bonny star the Scotsman's kilt did lift and show. Well, the Scotsman rose to nature's call and headed for the trees. He lifted up his kilt, then he gawks at what he sees. And in his drunken voice he says to what's before his eyes, "Oh lad, I don't know where you been, but I see you won first prize." Ring ding diddle diddle I-D-O, ring ding diddle I-O. Oh lad, I don't know where you been, but I see you won first prize.
We're going to do a tune. I don't think we played this. We've only had this in the set for about 10 years. No, it's been around in our set for about a year now. I'd say just short of a year. This is a tune from the Depression era, from the last century. And it's a song about, well, it's called The High Cost of Living.
Is Middlebury a gold town, by the way? No. Let's dedicate this song to Dorset.
This song is from the Depression era. Not your depression. No one wants to hear about that. The Depression. Thank you. Ready? 1, 2, 3. It's the high cost of living. Oh, tell me what a working man can do. It's the high cost of living. I'm in the red and feeling mighty blue. Well, the landlord wants his money, and the grocery bill is due. My wallet is a-getting low, and boys, I'm telling you, my clothes are getting ragged, and my shoes are getting thin. Oh, lend an ear, and you will hear this awful fix I'm in. It's the high cost of living. Oh, tell me what a working man can do. It's the high cost of living. I'm in the red and feeling mighty blue. There's no T-bone steak at our house, and no more chocolate pie. We can't afford these luxuries, the prices are too high. And I used to drive a Cadillac until the other day. I had to trade the darn thing on an old used Chevrolet. It's the high cost of living. Oh, tell me what a working man can do. It's the high cost of living. I'm in the red and feeling the mighty blue. Chip. Well, my little wife, she told me just the other day, throw out your chest and tell the rest that Junior's on his way. Just a little gift from God. Now it's God's help that I need. Oh, tell me how I can afford another mouth to feed. It's the high cost of living. Oh, tell me what a working man can do. It's the high cost of living. I'm in the red and feeling mighty blue. It's the high cost of living. Oh, tell me what a working man can do. It's the high cost of living. I'm in the red and feeling mighty blue.
Thank you.
We're going to sing There Were Roses. We had a request for it, but we were planning on playing it anyway. I was speaking with somebody before the show about Tommy Sands, who is the author of this song. Tommy is from Northern Ireland, and he wrote this about two good friends of his, one of whom is Catholic, the other is Protestant. And this song is based on a true story, and it's sort of timely to play it now when things are, I guess, taking a turn for the worst in Northern Ireland. So I hope you sing along on the chorus. And
my song for you this evening, it's not to make you sad, or for adding to the sorrows of our troubled northern land. But lately I've been thinking, and it just won't leave my mind. I'll tell you of two friends in time, they were both good friends of mine. Isaac Scott from Bailey, he lived just across the fields. A great man with the music and the dancing and the reels. MacDonald came from South Armagh to court young Agnes fair, and we'd often meet on Orion Road, and the laughter filled the air. And there were roses, roses, there were roses, and the tears of the people ran together.
Now Isaac, he was Protestant and Sean was Catholic born, though it never made a difference, for their friendship it was strong. Sometimes in the evenings when we heard the sound of drums, we swore it won't divide us, we would always be as one. Oh, the land our forefathers plowed, the soil it is the same, and the places where we say our prayers just have different names. We talked about the friends that died and wished there'd be no more. 'Twas little then we realized the tragedy in store. And there were roses, roses, there were roses, and the tears of the people ran together.
Was on a Sunday morning when the awful news came round. Another killing had been done just outside Cameron town. We knew that Isaac danced up there, we knew he liked the band. And when we heard that he was dead, we just could not understand. We gathered at the graveside on a cold and a rainy day. The minister, he closed his eyes, and for no revenge he prayed. And those of us who knew him from along Orion Road, we bowed our heads and we said a prayer for the resting of his soul. And there were roses, roses, there were roses, and the tears of the people ran together.
Now fear filled the countryside, there was fear in every home, when the car of death came prowling around that lonely Ryan Road. For a Catholic would be killed tonight to even up the score. Oh Christ, it's young MacDonald they've taken from the door. Now Isaac was my friend, he cried as he begged them with his tears. Centuries of hatred have ears that cannot hear. An eye for an eye was all that filled their minds, and another eye for another eye, till everyone is blind. And there were roses, roses, there were roses, and the tears of the people ran together. My song for you this evening, it's not to make you sad, or for adding to the sorrows of our troubled northern land. But lately I've been thinking, and it just won't leave my mind. I'll tell you of two friends in time, they were both good friends of mine. Now I don't know what the moral is, or where this song should end, but I wonder just how many wars are fought between good friends. Those who gave the orders, they're not the ones to die. It's Scott and MacDonald and the likes of you and I. And there were roses, roses, there were roses, and the tears of the people ran together. There are roses, roses, they are roses, and the tears of the people run together.
you very much. At this time, I would like to introduce to you the only original member of the Woods Tea Company and the fifth Beatle, Rusty Jacobs, right here.
Michael and I have worked together since 1983, but he missed late 1982, so I guess that's technically correct. Now, I introduced us as all being from Vermont, and that's not entirely true. Chip Chase, the newest member of our band, is from New Hampshire, which is kind of Vermont upside down to some people. And I don't live in Vermont anymore. I've moved to South Burlington. That's right. The local joke, if you haven't heard it, which you don't actually tell this in South Burlington, by the way, is what's the difference between South Burlington and yogurt? And the answer is yogurt has an active culture. But I'm from Jeffersonville before that, lived there a good part of my life. And Jeffersonville is a neat town. It's got a couple of general stores. Many of you have been there, so you know it pretty well. Jeffersonville has kind of a suburb called Waterville, and Waterville has one general store. And then farther out is Belvedere, which has one general store also, but it's about half the size. And up in Belvedere, Floyd and Chucky Tatro live. They're sort of famous local residents. I used to go visit them all the time and hear their stories that they tell mostly about each other. And this is one of my favorite Floyd Tatro stories about his brother Chucky. Seems that Chucky wanted to go up to Montreal one day, but he was kind of nervous about it since he didn't speak French, so he went to his brother Floyd and asked what to do, and Floyd said, "It's very simple, just speak slowly and use hand signals." So Chucky drove his truck up to Montreal, parked outside the first bar that he came to, walked in and sat down at the bar stool and said, "May I have a beer, please?" Well, it seemed to work. The bartender went and got him a beer and came back and said, "Here is your beer. Where are you from?" Chucky said, "I am from Vermont." The bartender said, "Oh, I am from Vermont too." Chucky leaned forward and looked the bartender in the eye and said, "Then why are we speaking French?" Thank you. Now that was kind of a foolish question, which is the only way I can segue into this next song. Now you've all heard foolish questions, and you no doubt wonder why. You know, a person can ask a foolish question and expect a sensible reply, like when you bring your girl some candy, say, just after tea. You know, the first thing she's going to do is wrinkle up her nose. She'll ask, "Is that for me?" Foolish questions, why, you may as well reply, "No, that's for your ma and pa," or "I bought that for the guys, I just wanted you to look at it. Now I'm gonna take it away." Foolish questions, you hear them every day. Now I'm gonna try this as an audience participation song. For those of you that don't know your part, I hope this works. All you have to do is ask the question every time it comes around. It'll rhyme, of course. Now suppose the elevator person should forget to close the door, and you walk in and you tumble down, say, 47 floors. And when you reach the bottom and you're lying there inert, some fool stick his head down the elevator shaft and holler. That's good. Foolish questions, your dying words are no. I was just in an awful hurry. That elevator's too darn slow. Usually saves a lot of time, you know, coming down this way. Foolish questions, you hear them every day. That was excellent, by the way. They get harder, though, and autobiographical. We're going to get in kind of late tonight, so this is a good verse for that. Now the phone rings in the morning. It's about 5:25. You're sleeping awfully soundly. You're just barely alive. As you stumble to the telephone, you break a coffee cup, and the voice on the other end will ask, foolish questions, you lie right on cue. No, I get up every morning at 20 after 2. That's when I'm gonna call you tomorrow just to prove it's true. Foolish questions, you know, that's what I would do. Now, this is a great place to play, and we've got a whole summer full of concerts on the green and festivals. It's a great way to make a living. In the early days of this band, we made our living in Irish pubs and biker bars. We had to travel to do that, too. We didn't stay in the kind of motels we stay in now. We used to stay in Motel 2s. Seriously. This next... Have you ever seen a coin-operated smoke detector? This next one's hard to guess at if you get it shouted out good and loud. We were playing at an ale house. It was a low-down kind of place. When this biker staggers to the stage and stares me in the face. And though I'm singing loudly with my guitar in my hand, this guy shouts, "Hey, buddy." Foolish questions. I looked at him and grinned. "No, I'm the bouncer. How did you get in?" "I guess you're gonna have to leave now." He swung at me. I ducked. Stupid answers, you know, that one really was dumb. Now, the last one's tricky, but many of you know it. For those of you that don't, it's got the word reading right in the question. I was riding on a bus. It was a cold and breezy day. So I sat right down on the Addison County Independent to keep the cold away. Well, this guy, he sees the paper on which I just barely sat. And he leans right over and he asks me, "Say," foolish questions. So to him I spoke. "Well, as a matter of fact, I am," I said. But he took that for a joke. So I got up and I turned the page and sat back down again. Foolish questions, you hear them now and then.
Rusty Jacobs. Well, this is a big crowd. Do I have any ex-wives here? No?
Just as a statistical probability, I think.
But none that will admit it.
We're going to let the guy with the tie sing one. He's only wearing a tie because somebody said one day, "Give this to the one with the hat."
So there. This is an audience participation song, but we haven't figured out how. So if you figure out something to do in this song, please do it.
That's dangerous, yes.
We're daring. Lord Nelson knew the perfect way to cure your mal de mer, and if you'll pay attention, his secret I will share. To any seasick sailor, he'd give this advice for free. When you're feeling seasick, sit underneath a tree. I'm marching inland from the shore. Over my shoulder I'm carrying an oar. When someone asks me what is that funny thing I've got, I know I'll never go to sea no more, no more. I know I'll never go to sea no more. Columbus, he set sail to find out if the world was round. He kept on sailing to the west until he ran aground. He thought he found the Indies, but he found the USA. I know some navigators who can still do that today. I'm marching inland from the shore. Over my shoulder I'm carrying an oar. When someone asks me what is that funny thing I got, I know I'll never go to sea no more, no more. I know I'll never go to sea no more. Now Drake is in his hammock and 1,000 miles away. Grenville's revenge is at the bottom of the bay. There's many a noble sailor never came home from the sea. Just take my advice, Jack, come and follow me. 'Cause I'm marching inland from the shore. Over my shoulder I'm carrying an oar. When someone asks me what is that funny thing I got, I know I'll never go to sea no more, no more. I know I'll never go to sea no more. So sailors, take a lesson from these men of high renown. Don't go near the water when it's time to settle down. Never cast your anchor less than 90 miles from shore. There'll always be temptation to be off to sea once more. And I'm marching inland from the shore. Over my shoulder I'm carrying an oar. When someone asks me what is that funny thing I got, I know I'll never go to sea no more, no more. I know I'll never go to sea no more, no more. 'Cause I'm marching inland from the shore. Over my shoulder I'm carrying an oar. When someone asks me what is that funny thing I've got, I know I'll never go to sea no more, no more. I know I'll never go to sea no more, no more. I know I'll never go to sea no more.
We're going to do an Irish drinking song like you needed an excuse.
For those of you that haven't seen us or any other bands in an Irish pub, we're going to play a tune called The Wild Rover, and you have a part in it. You need to know this so that you don't embarrass yourself when you walk into like the
Not like us.
Purple Shamrock in Boston. Your part is very simple. Clap on the chorus in a descending geometric pattern. So it goes like this. It's no, nay, never. Clap 4 times. Some people are kind of shy. No, nay, never, no more. Clap twice. Will I play the Wild Rover? Clap once. No, never, no more. Clap a half a time. It can look like this, but just clap hands with the person next to you like that. There we go.
Yeah, up with people and all that. I've been a wild rover for many's a long year. I spent all my money on whiskey and beer and lovely women, and now I'm returning with gold in great store. I never will play the wild rover no more, and it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more. Will I play the wild rover? No, never, no more. I went into an alehouse I used to frequent. I told the landlady my money's all spent, and I asked her for credit. She answered me nay. Such a custom as yours I can have any day, and it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more. Will I play the wild rover? No, never, no more. Then out of me pockets I pulled sovereigns bright, and the landlady's eyes opened wide with delight. She said I'd have whiskeys and wines of the best, and the words that I spoke sure were only in jest. And it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more. Will I play the wild rover? No, never, no more. I'll go back to my parents, confess what I've done, like hell, and hope they will pardon their Protestant son. And if they embrace me as oft times before, I never will play the wild rover no more. And it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more. Will I play the wild rover? No, never, no more. And it's no, nay, never. No, nay, never, no more. Will I play the wild rover? No, never, no more. Thank you. You may have noticed the new guy in the group, Chip Chase, playing this strange fiddle over here. I think you should play some more.
It's actually not a fiddle, it's a trombone, but the slide fell out and I can't figure out how to get it back in again.
I'll have a case of what you're drinking too.
Thank you.
Chip Chase. That's
So you think we should keep him?
that's enough. He's going to want to get paid. You know.
It's great working with Chip. Do you feel like working with us too and singing one? Okay, everybody up here on stage.
You start.
We're going to do a song called The Dutchman, which is, I'm not sure this is going to work outside, but it really sounds good when the audience sings with us. And the words are not all that easy, so I'll go over them once. It goes, let us go to the banks of the ocean, where the walls rise above the Zuider Zee. Long ago, I used to be a young man, and dear Margaret remembers that for me, the Dutchman.
The Dutchman's not the kind of man to keep his thumb jammed in the dam that hold his dreams in. But that's a secret only Margaret knows. When Amsterdam is golden in the morning, Margaret brings him breakfast. She believes him. He thinks the tulips bloom beneath the snow. He's mad as he can be, but Margaret only sees that sometimes she sees her unborn children in his eyes. Let us go to the banks of the ocean, where the walls rise above the Zuider Zee. Long ago, I used to be a young man, and dear Margaret remembers that for me. The Dutchman still wears wooden shoes. His cap and gloves are patched with love that Margaret sewed in. Sometimes he thinks he's still in Rotterdam. He watches tugboats down canals and calls out to them when he thinks he knows the captain. Till Margaret comes to take him home again, through unforgiving streets that trip him though she holds his arm. Sometimes he thinks that he's alone and calls her name. Let us go to the banks of the ocean, where the walls rise above the Zuider Zee. Long ago, I used to be a young man, and dear Margaret remembers that for me. The windmills whirl the winter in. She winds his muffler tighter, they sit in the kitchen. Some tea with whiskey keeps away the dew. He sees her for a moment, calls her name, she makes his bed up humming some old love song. They learned the tune when it was very new. He hums a line or two, they hum together in the night. The Dutchman falls asleep, Margaret blows the candle out. Let us go to the banks of the ocean, where the walls rise above the Zuider Zee. Long ago, I used to be a young man, And dear Margaret remembers that for me. One more time. Let us go to the banks of the ocean, where the walls rise above the Zuyder Zee. Long ago, I used to be a young man, and dear Margaret remembers that for me.
Sound good out there. You don't need us.
We've got a new album coming out very soon. This song will be on it. St. Patrick's Day. We've always been working on St. Patrick's Day, as you might imagine, and we try to work somewhere different every year. Do you want to talk about this a little?
Yeah. We this year we worked at the Turning Stone Casino over in Western New York, and they got their money back.
Didn't
We had a
cost-
good time, actually. It was a very interesting experience, gambling like that for the first time. That's really the first time I've ever done anything like that, and the last. But this song is really a reflection. It's taken us almost a year to write this song, and partly because we have some mixed feelings about St. Patrick's Day, especially here in America, because in Ireland, St. Patrick's Day is really a sacred day, a day of family gathering, and whereas here in the United States, we celebrate it in slightly different ways. And we've seen some interesting things over the years, some of them really cool, and some of them, well, enough said. And this song is kind of a reflection of those things. It's about St. Patrick's Day in America. And the title of the song is St. Patrick's Day in America.
We're in the green and you watch the parade. Everyone's Irish on St. Patrick's Day. You march down the avenue, beckon the spring, lift up your glasses and starting to sing. Kayleys and cabbage and corned beef galore. Tune up the fiddle and stomp on the floor, and we'll all get together and have us a time on St. Patrick's Day in America. You'll give your liver a kick in the head, raise up a ruckus to raise up the dead. Bring out the pipers and bring on the drums. Take out your guitar and just start in to strum. Bring on the dancers and throw them a tune. It's over the limit, it's over too soon, and we'll all get together and have us a time on St. Patrick's Day in America. All of the girls have a glow in their cheeks. We'll be hungover for 2 or 3 weeks. We cherish old Erin, her custom so quaint. We'll drink our pints just to honor that saint. He drove out the snakes or something like that. I'm really not sure why we honor St. Pat, but we'll all get together and have us a time on St. Patrick's Day in America. Yes, we'll all get together and have us a time on St. Patrick's Day in America.
Thank you.
We're having a small conference up here, so if you folks will just play amongst yourselves, we'll get back to you by probably 10:30 tomorrow morning.
Are there any requests out there? Time's up. What's that? Is there anybody from out of state? Where are you from? Uh-huh. Anybody from New Jersey?
Really?
Is John Gorka here?
And
We can-
these folks are from New
If
Jersey.
John's not here, we
Where's
can do
John?
this song.
These folks are from New Jersey, and they're entirely too close to the stage.
We'll do a song about Hawaii then.
I grew up in New Jersey, so I can sing this song. Exit 13. And it's all in good fun. Actually, I like New Jersey. I like their many lovely trees and their numerous shrub. When I die, bury me low, where I can hear the petroleum flow, a sweeter sound I never did know. The rolling mills of New Jersey. In Hoboken there will be trash as far as the eye can see. Enough for you, enough for me. The garbage cans of New Jersey. Sing it with us now. When I die, bury me low, where I can hear the petroleum flow. A sweeter sound I never did know. The rolling mills of New Jersey. Down in Trenton there is a bar where the bums come from near and from far. They come by truck, they come by car. The lousy bums of New Jersey. Everybody, when I die, bury me low, where I can hear the petroleum flow. A sweeter sound I never did know. The rolling mills of New Jersey. When first I started to roam, I wandered far away from Bayonne. Then I sat down and wrote this poem. I wrote an ode to New Jersey. Last time. When I die, bury me low, where I can hear the petroleum flow. A sweeter sound I never did know. The rolling mills of New Jersey. Whoop!
Yeah, what exit are you from, Michael? Oh, it's
13
Eastern,
is-
yeah, 13. We're going to do, we're going to get you to sing one more here. This is an upbeat tune from Canada called Alberta Bound. And I'm going to go over the words for you right now because the words are particularly difficult. And I want you to learn them. So the words to the chorus go, Alberta Bound. Alberta Bound. It's good to be. It's good to be. All right, now
That wasn't bad. That was much better than Salt Lake City. They sang loudly, though. You'd expect people in Salt Lake City to sing really well. That's not. I mean, the title we came up with was Norman's Fish and Tackle Choir. After the show, of course.
Oh, the prairie lights are burning bright, the Chinook wind is moving in, and tomorrow night I'll be Alberta bound. Though I've done the best I could, my old luck ain't been so good, and tomorrow night I'll be Alberta bound. No one I left could ever get the Rocky Mountain sunset. It's a pleasure just to be Alberta bound. I long to see my next of kin, to know what kind of shape they're in. Tomorrow night I'll be Alberta bound. Here we go! Alberta bound, Alberta bound. It's good to be Alberta bound. Alberta bound, Alberta bound. It's good to be Alberta bound. That was terrible. I mean, folks, most of us are from the Woodstock generation. We can make this thing a little louder here. Oh, the skyline of Toronto was something you get on to, but they say you've got to live there for a while. And if you've got the money, you can get a taste of honey, certain guarantee to make you smile. But it's snowing in the city and the streets are brown and pretty, and I know there's pretty girls all over town, but they never seem to find me. Like the one I left behind me is the reason that I'll be Alberta bound. Here we go! Alberta bound, Alberta bound. It's good to be Alberta bound. Alberta bound, Alberta bound. It's good to be Alberta bound. Michael!
Chip.
Alberta bound, Alberta bound. It's good to be Alberta bound. Alberta bound, Alberta bound. It's good to be Alberta bound. Yeah, the skyline of Toronto was something you get on to, but they say you've got to live there for a while. And if you've got the money, you can get a taste of honey, certain guarantee to make you smile. But it's snowing in the city and the streets are brown and pretty, and I know there's pretty girls all over town, but they never seem to find me. Like the one I left behind me is the reason that I'll be Alberta bound. Alberta bound, Alberta bound. It's good to be Alberta bound. Alberta bound, Alberta bound. It's good to be Alberta Big finish now. Alberta bound, Alberta bound. It's good to be Alberta bound. Alberta bound, Alberta bound. Alberta bound. It's good to be Alberta bound. Yeah, it's good to be Alberta bound. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, this is fun.
Rusty Jacobs is an excellent penny whistle player, which you should have noticed by now. Rusty Jacobs is so good that he actually drove the Snakes back into Ireland.
From Woodstock. I'm going to do an old traditional tune. We learn our traditional music in a lot of different ways. I like to learn it from old fiddlers and old-time musicians. When that's not possible, we resort to books and records just like anybody else. This next one comes from watching cartoons on Saturday morning. But it really is an old traditional tune. And I'll need your help on this. You did so well on the last one. All you have to do to accent and punctuate the melody is clap your hands 2 times really quickly like this when I nod my head. Let's try it out.
Together would be nice.
That wasn't bad. Try it one more time. Ah, that's great.
Relax.
Just a second. I need a drink. Speak for a second.
I'll give you a clue. It's kind of, if you keep your hands out in front of you, it helps.
It's a good idea in any case, you know. Faster! Underway! We have time for just a couple more songs. We would like to remind you to stick around for the great John Gorka when we're finished.
By the way, when we're done, we have CDs, cassettes, T-shirts, mugs, and John Gorka albums for sale.
We're selling them cheap. No, only kidding.
Some people object to that, but we're going to do another Scottish song. This is a Scottish drinking song.
This is a Scottish drinking song, and the Scots do drink. They just try not to enjoy it. Well, I don't want to brag. I've been courting all my life. They consider me a roguish lad, especially for my size. And with you, and with you, and with you, Jenny Glenn, I'll take you down to Glasgow town and dance you home again. And with you, and with you, and with you, Jenny Glenn, I'll take you down to Glasgow town and dance you home again. Now Jenny would come a-calling while there was still some light. I'd sit her down with a pull or two, she'd stay most all the night. I'd put my arm around her, and then I'd bar the door. There'd be laughing and some squealing like you never heard before. And with you, and with you, and with you, Jenny Glenn, I'll take you down to Glasgow town and dance you home again. And with you, and with you, and with you, Jenny Glenn, I'll take you down to Glasgow town and dance you home again. Now a lot of girls would like me, and they're pretty, heaven knows. But there's something about my Jenny that keeps me on my toes. She'd tickle me and squeeze me till I could hardly moan. Then she'd light out a running, and I'd chase her halfway home. And with you, and with you, and with you, Jenny Glenn, I'll take you down to Glasgow town and dance you home again. And with you, and with you, and with you, Jenny Glenn, I'll take you down to Glasgow town and dance you home again. Now she would not come to see me for about a week or more. She'd do it just to tease me, 'cause she knew it made me sore. Then I'd do me some drinking till the jug was getting dry. I'd go looking for my Jenny with a mean look in my eye. And with you, and with you, and with you, Jenny Glenn, I'll take you down to Glasgow town and dance you home again. And with you, and with you, and with you, Jenny Glenn, I'll take you down to Glasgow town and dance you home again. And with you, and with you, and with you, Jenny Glenn, I'll take you down to Glasgow town and dance you home again. And with you, and with you, and with you, Jenny Glenn, I'll take you down to Glasgow town and dance you home again.
It's been a lot of fun. I really appreciate your having us here tonight.
Thank you very much, folks. This is a Woods Tea original tune, and we've just written it recently, and it's a song of Journey's End.
We finished it during that last song. By the way, we have copies. Do we have copies of our schedule at the table?
We do.
Okay, copies of our
If
schedule.
we don't, we'll get them there. When your sails have all come down and your journey's homeward bound, take another long look out to sea. Count your blessings for your wealth and for your loved one's health, for soon we will be coming home to thee. We've been out for 40 days, the hull is turning gray. Take another long look out to sea. Well, our work was hard each day, and now we've earned our pay, and soon we will be coming home to thee. Come on and lift and tow that line, set your sails and bide your time. It's family and a life of ease for me. Come on and lift and tow that line, leave your troubles all behind. There's no other place I'd rather be. Come on and lift and tow that line, set your sails and bide your time. It's family and a life of ease for me. Come on and lift and tow that line, leave your troubles all behind. There's no other place I'd rather be. Now a sailor's life is hard, he travels near and far. Take another long look out to sea. And like sailors on the land, we travel in our van, bringing you our music and good cheer. Well, we've sung our songs again, this concert's near the end. Take another long look out to sea. But if you'd like one more, call us back for an encore, and soon we will return to sing for thee. Come on and lift and tow that line, set your sails and bide your time. It's family and a life of ease for me. Come on and lift and tow that line, leave your troubles all behind. There's no other place I'd rather be. Yes, there's no other place I'd rather be.
Thank you. God bless us, everyone. Thank you for responding to that shameless pandering.
We weren't expecting you to do that, Howard. We don't have anything planned. We're going to
weren't.
repeat one that we did earlier. We'll do, let's do this Land Is Your Land. We're going to do a Woody Guthrie tune that you all learned in first grade. So you can sing along. We actually played in my hometown a while ago, and there was a little article in the paper, so my first grade teacher showed up at the show, and we sang this song for her. It was a very neat moment. It sort of came full circle, if you know what I mean. So that was great. Now she's emailing me. Seriously. She's not that old. I had her first year teaching first grade, and she didn't retire that long ago. She's a very cool old lady. She's emailing everybody because she looks up people on the internet. So she's doing her whole first grade class, and she's talking about having a reunion even. But I don't think I'm going to go because I've gained 100 pounds. No, I will go.
I saw my brother here earlier. Is he still around, my brother? He came down from Brooklyn to, not to see me, but it just happened.
To hang out in the park.
Yeah. I guess he took off.
We do have cassettes, tapes, CDs, T-shirts, coffee mugs, aluminum siding, right over here. And we've been doing a lot of Celtic music tonight, but we'd like to close with a song about the greatest country in the world, Sweden.
He used to be Pete Seeger.
Sing along. This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. As I was walking that ribbon of a highway, I saw above me the endless skyway. I saw below me that golden valley. This land was made for you and me. Sing the song. This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. As I was walking, I saw a sign there, and on that sign it said, no trespassing. But on the other side, it didn't say nothing. That side was made for you and me. And this land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. In the shadow of the steeple, I saw my people by the relief office. And I saw my people, and some were hungering, and some were wondering if this land was made for you and me. Nobody living can make me turn back as I go marching down freedom's highway. Nobody living can ever stop me, 'cause this land's still made for you and me. By yourselves, this land is... This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. Stick around for the fabulous John Gorka. Thank you.
Woods